just kind of kick it off then?
So I'll intro you and then you'll just like talk about yourself for a little bit and then we'll go into the question.
Okay, sounds good.
Perfect. Just give me 1 second. YouTube is loading. Okay, perfect. We're good to go. And I'll let everyone in. Let me pin you. All right. Hi, everyone. I hope you're doing well on this Monday morning. Thank you so much for joining us. If you don't know, my name is Katina. I'm Covet and Maine's Education and Community Manager, and I have on our latest addition to the Covet and Maine Education team, Erin Gardner.
Hi, everybody. I'm so excited to be here with you today. I am um, a recent owner of a salon in Minneapolis called Gardner & Co. Salon. We have transitioned in the last 6 months or so to becoming more of an employee-based salon. And so that's what we're going to chat about today.
Amazing. And thank you so much, Erin, for joining us. I really appreciate it.
Of course.
So just to dive in, how did you change from a booth renter to an employee-based model? And how did that affect your financial structure and profitability?
So when I opened, I really thought that I just wanted a rental salon that was going to be for stylists like myself that had established clientels and that just needed a salon home.
Yeah.
For me, it was a priority to have a space where I could have an assistant as I was growing in the extension world. And so that's what I thought that I was getting into. And I kept meeting younger stylists who were amazing and talented, and I wanted to work with, but they were just out of school and they needed to bridge that gap between just being brand new and kind of getting started with their clientele. So in the beginning, the way we solved that was to have them assist me part-time, and then they would rent some days and slowly build their clientele. And we kind of, as we could get people in the door, it's like it was just this rotation we had going for a little bit. And I think after about a year, I realized how much time and effort I was putting into the training. There was so much that I did not realize going into it. And not just that, it was like the mentoring too of, being a brand new stylist and how do you handle no shows and what verbiage should you use to make, smooth
Mhm.
an issue over or just all of those little things.
Mhm.
And so it was at that point, and I'd had several requests for people being commissioned. In fact, some of the renters would have liked to have been commissioned, but in the beginning, that's not what I thought I wanted. And so when I had, I think my fifth person come through the door, I was like, okay,
Wow.
I'm ready. I've
Mhm.
managed a little bit now. I've gotten up to speed with how this training feels. And so I said yes. And that's when we started with our first employee.
And so it was a little bit of a scary journey. Just opened your salon, you had one plan for it, and now you shifted into a totally different business model than what you were interested in. And to hear, it seems like it worked out for you guys.
It worked out amazing, and I'm so thankful that it happened the way it did. Yes, scary in the beginning. Um, Still learning so much about having employees and navigating that. It's not perfect, but it's a work in progress. And yeah, I'm so thankful that it happened the way that it did.
And how many more stylists have you brought on since you transitioned from being just booth rent to a commission-based salon, or has it stayed the same?
No, so we had four that are renters that have been with me the whole time, and then now we have four employees. So, yep, started with like two of them in probably about 6 months to a year in between them, and then actually was able to take 2 at a time on, and that's who we have as our co-stylists right now. So getting them up and running and out on the floor is what we're working on.
Amazing. And how did the compensation and benefit structures for your employees change once you made that switch?
So for the employees, what we do is when they start on the floor, they are at 40% commission. They have a service total goal that we want them to meet 3 months in a row consecutively. And when they get to that point, we start looking at different KPIs like client retention, pre-booking, percentage book, those kinds of things. So because we're younger, we're in those processes of getting through that. But that is the plan. And then when they reach those newer KPIs after the service total was hit, then that's when we can start looking at sliding our commission scale a bit.
So would you say that your salon has like, I guess, tiers? So like you start as a level 1, then you go to level 2, and then you can move up from there? Or as you mentioned, a sliding scale. How does that work? If you don't mind.
Well, I think when the girls started, my first 2 employees, it was sort of like, okay, you're done assisting, you've done the training, I feel super confident that you can go out there and do a great service for somebody. And so I was like, let's open up your books and we'll just put you out there.
Yeah.
What I've quickly learned is that it makes a lot more sense to do that in a way more gradual way. So I have them start by opening up their schedules on Saturdays. And then after they get to a certain percentage booked and they're used to doing that, then we take 1 day away from assisting and we add another day on their books. And that's just a way that I feel like it builds some confidence in them. And it also, I wish I could go back for the first 2. And had I known that, I think that would have maybe made their journey a little easier. But they figured it out that way too.
And it's also being a new salon owner, you don't know what you know until you know it, kind of. So it's like
100%.
you start out one way and then it's good to make shifts in your business. You want to grow and evolve within it. So I think it's nice that you have your girls that you started with and now you're introducing more to the team.
Yes. And I would say that. I would say we've been very lucky to have those renters that they're consistent at this point. They're relatively self-sufficient. They're a great addition and they're a great person for the younger stylists to look up to. So I love that there's 2 different kinds of energy there. I think there's so much to learn. And so, yeah, that part, yes, you don't know what you don't know. I wish there was a faster and better way. If anybody knows what it is, tell me, but this is what's worked for us.
Yeah. And how did you manage the transition for when you had booth renters, switching them into commission stylists, and then communicating those things to your clients? Did pricing have to change when you made that shift? How did you talk to them?
So we didn't actually move the renters into commission model. They stayed as they were. So I'd have the 4 rental and then the 4 now commission based. I felt like, there was such an evolution in the first year and a half, 2 years of business. And I think that those people signed on for what they signed on for. And I never wanted them to feel like that changed my agreements or my feelings with them. Like I said, I love the addition that they are. And so that part was just really a communication thing of just explaining to people like, here's where the business is going. This is what makes sense. And here's how it kind of came to be. And I think they understand that. I think like they can see that was a lot of work, getting everybody up and running. And that if we're going to do that, then it makes sense to have more structure even and more systems for that. So yeah, just being really open and communicating, making sure that they feel comfortable and confident about their roles and then asking them to just be good mentors and good good
Sure.
go-to people for the newer stylists.
And how did you manage, like as a team, since you had two different systems within one salon, how did you bridge the gap for them and making everyone feel supported and we're one team, we're here to support one another and foster that positive relationship?
I think I've been very lucky, honestly. I do. I think that attitude comes from the top. I think
Mhm.
I treat people the way I expect everyone else to be treated. I don't think anyone is better than anyone else.
Mhm.
We're really all here to learn, and we all have things to learn. I do still all the time.
Mhm.
Um, so I think it's just leading by example is the best way I know so far to do that. And then again, just being super open with people, pulling someone to the side if it seems like there's some confusion, and having a one-on-one and explaining. I really think that when there's conflict, there's usually just a misunderstanding in there somewhere. And so I tell the girls, you can always come to me. I will not be defensive. I will not, be upset. I would be more upset
Mhm.
if you didn't
Definitely.
convey what's on your mind. And
Mhm.
again, I think that it's easier to do that as a younger salon because you can say, listen, we're just starting to figure it all out, and that just allows for a lot more collaboration maybe than a place that is 100% set in its ways and knows, has done it this way for so long. And I think that brings us closer too. It's like we're all working towards a common goal.
And almost in the salon space, I feel like you, as a leader, kind of have to be a chameleon because you're dealing with different personalities and you're wanting to meet people where they are, but also stay within your business model and grow your salon. Like you want to grow your team, but you also want it to be profitable for everyone within it.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. I think that is one of the unique challenges is how different each, I mean, anybody in management already knew this, but for me, um, I'm a parent too. I'm a
Mhm.
mom, so I understand that I parent my two children very differently. They need really different things, and it's the same. The one thing that works for one does not work for another. Some
Yeah.
people are easier to communicate with, or they're maybe it's not that they're more coachable, but they're more receptive to it. So just like learning how to navigate that, and then keeping your own ego out of it and your own insecurities, just
Mhm.
being vulnerable and doing your very best to just peel back those layers and communicate.
And just to give context, how long has your salon been open?
We are coming up actually like right about now we're at 2 years.
Amazing. Oh, wow. That was so quick.
I know, we blinked and it was here.
Yes.
So
What advice would you give someone that wants to open their own salon within, whether it's booth rental or commission space, as they're starting out in that first year? Like the things you wish you knew then.
oh,
So many.
I know, so many. I think just really, it sounds cliche, but I think really just being open to the process and um, allowing for things not going exactly to plan. But then in my case, again, I feel lucky. I think that when you're open to that and sort of open to what's coming your way, it's people first for me. So it's like if I think that this person that came through the door is an amazing fit, it's like then how do we make them fit within the business? I do go really off of gut and the beginnings of those relationships and how I
Mhm.
think they're gonna positively impact our business. So as far as advice, I think just be open and be willing to learn and be willing to explain to people that you know you're learning too. And yeah.
Okay. And within the transition, because I know you mentioned you find amazing people and you want to find a space for them within your salon. Have you ever had to transition someone out of your salon? And what did that look like?
We have had two people leave over the course of our being open.
Mhm.
Both were in rental positions, actually. One of them, I'm a big believer that people kind of they know it too. They know when
Mhm.
they're not a fit, and in both cases, I didn't have to say anything. I think it was heading there,
Mhm.
but these were people that knew that it wasn't a fit for them anymore. And again, like all the evolution of a business, one of them signed on as a renter and she thought that's what we were going to be because that's what I told her we were going to be in the beginning. So I feel like we communicated that, we talked all that through. But if it isn't, if that is not the business model that you want to work in, I understand that completely.
Mhm. Yeah, I think that's nice, a nice way of putting it. Like it's always a feeling, like you're wanting to make sure your team is happy within the space, but also leaving that line of communication open. So if there is a difference of opinion, we're open and we can share that with each other.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. And I think that would be the only place that I would begin to have a bigger issue is if it's not being brought, to me. Those are the things that I would maybe start having to make some moves on. But in these
Mhm.
cases, I felt like everyone kind of made their own adult decisions and it was for the best.
Mhm. So I think at the end of it, our my main takeaway from it is you have to be flexible within your business and what you started out with may not be where you end up. And I think that's okay. It's okay to be flexible. It's good to be flexible.
Yeah, and I think that spans across so many, I mean, I'm sure it does, so many different businesses. I think as hairstylists, we think about the corporate world and we it's so beyond our realm and our
Mhm.
industry does things different. There's no doubt about that. But I think it's just you think that all these other jobs and positions are so dialed in and everybody knows exactly what they're doing all the time, but after having been in business for a couple of years, I don't buy it. I think everyone is figuring it out as they go.
Mhm. For sure. And I like that you mentioned the corporate side of it because even within the beauty industry, there is a corporate side, whether you're
Yeah.
dealing with clients or employees, onboarding, offboarding, sales, like you mentioned, KPIs, there's a lot that goes into that.
Yeah. Yeah, there really is. And I think as an industry, it's really important that we do lean into that and that we are utilizing all of those things. So I know I've talked a lot about flexibility and all of that, and that's really important to me. But I do also think that the best thing we can be doing is starting to have more of those systems in place,
Mhm.
um, and and just dialing that in a little bit more.
Mhm. And it also makes the process more streamlined too, from bringing in someone new, it's like you have the plan laid out for them. So it makes you feel comfortable and confident, and also them as a new stylist. Because as you mentioned, you got a lot of girls coming out of beauty school. It's like, what's next for me? And it's right there.
Yeah, having a growth plan in place so that they're not just like, okay, and then I what, just like make more money? It's
Yeah.
like you want everyone to know what their options are moving
Mhm.
forward. And with each person that comes in, you learn so much more about what were the gaps with the last person. What do I wish I would have filled in? What could I have shown her? And each person as we move forward gets a little bit more detailed and
Yeah.
and systematized.
You grow as you go.
Yes, for sure.
Does anyone who's on have any questions for Erin before we go?
Oh, I see one.
I
Hi,
see
Um,
Mom.
Lauren in
it's
Hi,
Lauren.
Lauren.
Hey,
Hi,
Lauren.
Lauren.
I don't have any questions. I'm just here to support Erin. So great
Oh,
job.
So sweet.
good to hear
Thank
your voice,
you.
Lauren. I hope you're doing
Hey,
well.
you too. Yeah, I think like everything that Erin said is totally true. It's like we're all so good about just like we all get along really well. There really isn't any drama, which is like so unusual in especially in this industry. But I think it helps that like one, we're a little bit smaller of a salon, but two, just like the way that Erin is as a person, it's like you can't be angry. Like she's just so warm and welcoming and like really does want the best for everybody. So just like she said, it comes from the top. Like that's so true. Where like if the salon owner, I've worked in a salon where that person was the one that was causing all the drama and causing all the problems. So just like if you really are a good person, like your like attracts like, right? Like you're gonna find people that are similar to you and then just like wanting the best for them. And that's totally how it's been for us. So it's been super great.
Thanks, Lauren.
Yes, that's so good to hear. And it's nice to know that your team feels that way as well, just to have that comfort within the salon. And as a salon owner, you have to have a big heart, but there also has to be a little strictness in there and like making
Yeah.
sure we're succeeding as a group.
Yes. Yeah. And I think that comes with time
For sure.
too. And a little, just a little experience in that.
I don't see any questions coming in, but super grateful for you jumping on and just sharing your story. It's been so fun to hear where you've come from to opening your salon, and now you have an amazing team under your belt. I think it's a testament to you as a leader and where you're wanting to take your business.
Oh, thank you. I feel so lucky. I'm so excited to be working with Covet in Maine, and that's also huge for us as a salon. We're so excited about that, and so thanks for having us.
Of course. And for those listening, definitely keep an ear out. We'll be announcing Erin's class date for Concealed by Covet in Maine soon. So we're really excited to come to Minnesota, see the salon, and connect with your girls again.
Yes, we can't wait.
Alrighty, Erin. Well, thank you so much. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. And for those that are listening, happy Monday, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Bye.